We often live our lives like a race to a distant finish line. We fix our gaze on a future prize, a desired outcome, a final destination. In this constant forward chase, we miss the beauty of the path itself. We exhaust ourselves striving for what is to come, forgetting that life unfolds only in the present. This wisdom invites a gentle shift, a turning of attention from the destination to the journey, from the result to the process. Lesson 1. Embrace the present moment. Imagine you are walking on a beautiful path lined with fragrant flowers. If your mind is only on reaching the end of the path, you will miss the scent of the blossoms. You will miss the feeling of the sun on your skin. You will miss the sound of birds singing in the trees. Life is this path. The present moment is the only place life truly happens. The past is a collection of memories, and the future is a field of possibilities, but your feet are planted firmly in the now. To focus on the process means to be fully where you are. When you are writing an email, feel the keys under your fingers. When you are speaking with a loved one, truly listen to their words. Don't let your mind race ahead to what you will say next or what you need to do later. The anxiety we feel often comes from living in a future that has not yet arrived. We worry about outcomes that are not yet real. By bringing our attention back to the present task, the present conversation, the present breath, we anchor ourselves in reality. This is not about ignoring the future, but about building it with a sequence of well-lived present moments. Each moment you are fully engaged is a moment of peace. Your power to act, to create, and to experience joy exists only in this instant. By embracing it, you stop chasing happiness and start living it. This simple shift is the foundation of a more serene and meaningful existence. Every step becomes the destination. Lesson 2. Cultivate right effort. Think of a musician tuning a guitar string. If the string is too loose, it produces a dull, lifeless sound. If it is too tight, it will snap. The perfect note is found in the middle, with balanced tension. This is the nature of right effort. It is not about pushing relentlessly until you break, nor is it about being passive and lazy. It is about applying your energy wisely, skillfully, and sustainably. When you are working on a project, right effort means you are focused and diligent, but you also know when to rest. It means you recognize the difference between productive work and anxious, frantic activity. Frantic energy often stems from a fear of the outcome. We push harder and harder, thinking that more force will guarantee success. But this often leads to burnout and mistakes. Wise effort, on the other hand, comes from focusing on the quality of your actions. It asks, is what I am doing right now helpful? Is it skillful? Is it moving me forward in a healthy way? This kind of effort is calm and steady. It is like a gardener tending to their plants. The gardener does not scream at the seeds to grow faster. They simply provide the right conditions: good soil, water, and sunlight. They remove the weeds. They do their part with care and then allow nature to take its course. In your life, you can apply this by focusing on taking the correct, skillful steps one after another without forcing the result. This approach conserves your energy, reduces stress, and ironically, often leads to better outcomes because your actions are more thoughtful and deliberate. Lesson 3. Accept impermanence of results. Consider a child building a magnificent sandcastle by the ocean. They pour their heart into every tower and moat. They are fully absorbed in the creative process. They know, on some level, that the tide will eventually come in and wash it all away. But this does not stop them from finding joy in the act of building it. This is a profound lesson in the nature of reality. Everything changes. Nothing is permanent. Success is a fleeting moment. Failure is a temporary state. The promotion you worked so hard for will eventually become just your job. The praise you receive will fade. Likewise, the disappointment of a setback will lessen with time. When we attach our happiness to a specific result, we set ourselves up for suffering. We are clinging to a wave in the ocean, trying to make it stand still. The wisdom lies in accepting the natural flow of life. When you achieve a goal, celebrate it. Enjoy the feeling of success fully, but hold it lightly. Recognize it as a beautiful, passing moment. When you face failure or a disappointing outcome, allow yourself to feel the sadness, but remind yourself that this too shall pass. It is a cloud passing in the sky of your life, not the sky itself. By understanding and accepting impermanence, you become more resilient. You are not so easily lifted up by praise or crushed by criticism. You find a stable center within yourself that is not dependent on the ever-changing external world. Your peace comes not from achieving permanent success, but from gracefully navigating the constant rhythm of rising and falling that is part of being human. Lesson 4. Release attachment to outcomes. Imagine you are an archer. You have a target in the distance. The common approach is to fixate on the bullseye, becoming tense and anxious about hitting it. Your happiness depends entirely on that final result. Now, consider a different approach. Instead of obsessing over the target, you turn your focus inward. You focus on your stance, ensuring it is stable and grounded. You focus on your breathing, making it calm and even. You focus on the smooth, deliberate motion of drawing back the bowstring. You focus on the clean release of the arrow. You pour all of your attention and care into the process of shooting. The arrow will fly where it will. By perfecting the process, you have given it the best possible chance of hitting the mark. But more importantly, you have found a sense of accomplishment and integrity in the action itself. This is the essence of releasing attachment. It is not about not having goals. Goals give us direction. It is about untying your inner peace and self-worth from the achievement of those goals. When you are attached, you are saying, "I will be happy when I get this." This makes happiness a future event, always out of reach. When you release attachment, you find fulfillment in the doing. Your satisfaction comes from acting with integrity, kindness, and mindfulness in this moment. You are cooking a meal. The joy is in chopping the vegetables with care, not just in the final taste. You are writing a report. The satisfaction is in crafting clear sentences, not just in the praise you might receive. This shift frees you from a tremendous amount of anxiety and fear. Life is no longer a series of pass-fail tests. Instead, every action becomes an opportunity to practice being the person you want to be. Lesson 5. Recognize your sphere of control. Picture 2 circles. The inner circle contains everything you can directly control: your actions, your words, your effort, your attitude, your intentions. The outer circle contains everything you cannot control: the weather, the economy, what other people think, the final outcome of your efforts. So much of our stress and frustration comes from trying to manage things in that outer circle. We worry endlessly about whether a client will say yes, whether our boss will be in a good mood, or whether it will rain on the day of our outdoor event. We are trying to steer a ship that is not ours to command. The path to peace is to gracefully release your grip on the outer circle and turn your full attention to the inner one. This is your true domain. This is where your power lies. You cannot control if someone is rude to you, but you can control how you respond. You can choose compassion over anger. You cannot control if a project fails despite your best efforts, but you can control the effort you put in and the lessons you learn from the experience. This is incredibly empowering. It moves you from a position of victimhood, where you are at the mercy of external forces, to a position of agency. You are no longer waiting for the world to align perfectly for you to be happy. You are actively creating your own inner peace by managing what is yours to manage. When faced with a difficult situation, ask yourself a simple question: what part of this is in my control? Focus your energy there, then let the rest go. It is like tending your own garden, rather than worrying about the state of your neighbors. By concentrating on your own actions and intentions, you cultivate a sense of calm and capability that no external outcome can take away. Lesson 6. Find joy in the journey. We are often taught to see life as a series of destinations. Graduate school, get a job, get married, buy a house, retire. The journey between these points is often seen as a necessary struggle, something to be endured to get to the next prize. But what if the journey itself is the prize? Imagine climbing a mountain. If you only focus on the summit, the entire climb is a grueling chore. Your legs ache, your breath is short, and you are filled with impatience. But if you choose to find joy in the journey, everything changes. You notice the way the light filters through the trees. You see a rare wildflower growing by the path. You feel the strength in your own body with each step. You share a moment of encouragement with a fellow climber. The climb is no longer a means to an end. It becomes a rich and rewarding experience in itself. This is how we can approach our lives. The process of learning a new skill, of building a business, of raising a family is where life is lived. It is in the small, everyday moments of effort, connection, and discovery that true joy is found. To do this, we must practice being present with our tasks. Instead of rushing through cooking dinner to get to the relaxing part of the evening, find the simple pleasure in the process of cooking. Instead of seeing your work as just a way to get a paycheck, find satisfaction in solving a problem or helping a colleague. When you start to look for these small joys in the process, your entire life transforms. The pressure to achieve a spectacular outcome lessens because you are already deriving happiness and meaning from the path you are on. The journey is not something to get through. It is something to be savored. Lesson 7. Develop equanimity to success failure. Imagine a great ancient mountain. In the summer, it is bathed in warm sunshine. In the winter, it is covered in snow and battered by icy winds. The mountain remains unmoved. It does not become arrogant in the sun or despairing in the storm. It simply is. This steadfast, unshakable quality is equanimity. It is a balanced state of mind, a deep inner peace that is not disturbed by the changing fortunes of life. In our lives, success is the sunshine and failure is the storm. It is natural to feel happy when we succeed and sad when we fail. Equanimity does not mean becoming a robot with no feelings. It means not letting those feelings throw you completely off balance. It is about developing an inner stability that holds you steady, regardless of external events. When you receive praise or achieve something great, you can smile and be grateful, but you don't let it inflate your ego. You know that this success does not define your ultimate worth. When you make a mistake or face criticism, you can acknowledge the disappointment and learn from it, but you don't let it crush your spirit. You know that this failure does not define you either. You are the mountain, not the weather. To cultivate this, practice observing your reactions. When something good happens, notice the feeling of excitement, but don't get carried away by it. When something bad happens, notice the feeling of disappointment, but don't drown in it. See these feelings as visitors, coming and going. Your true self is the calm, aware host. This practice gradually builds a profound resilience. You become less dependent on external validation for your happiness, creating a source of peace that comes from within. Lesson 8. Foster inner peace. Reduce anxiety. Anxiety is a state of mind that lives in the future. It is the constant what if. What if I fail the exam? What if they don't like my presentation? What if I lose my job? Our minds create 1,000 possible negative outcomes, and we suffer from each one as if it were already real. Focusing on the process is a direct antidote to this kind of thinking. When your attention is fully on the task at hand, there is no mental space left for anxious projections about the future. It brings you out of the imagined world of fear and into the real world of action. If you are worried about an upcoming exam, the most peaceful thing you can do is to focus completely on studying the page that is in front of you right now. If you are anxious about a difficult conversation, You can find calm by focusing on your breath, one inhale and one exhale at a time, right up until the moment it begins. The process is your anchor in the present moment. It is solid ground beneath your feet when the winds of anxiety try to blow you away. Each step you take with full attention, each word you write with care, each task you complete with mindfulness is a small victory over anxiety. It is a declaration that you will not be ruled by fear of what might be. Instead, you will engage fully with what is. This practice builds a deep sense of trust in yourself. You learn that you can handle the present moment. And since the future is just a series of present moments, you begin to trust that you will be able to handle that too when it arrives. This doesn't mean anxiety will vanish forever, but it gives you a powerful, practical tool to find your way back to peace, one moment at a time. Lesson 9. Promote consistent growth and learning. When we are solely focused on the outcome, we tend to see our efforts in black and white terms, success or failure. If we succeed, we celebrate. If we fail, we feel defeated and may even give up. This mindset hinders true growth. A process-oriented approach, however, reframes every experience as an opportunity for learning. The outcome is no longer the final judgment on your worth or ability. It is simply feedback. Think of a scientist conducting an experiment. If the experiment does not produce the expected result, the scientist does not see it as a personal failure. They see it as new information. They ask, "What did I learn from this? What does this result tell me? How can I adjust my process for the next attempt?" This is a powerful way to live. Every project you undertake, every interaction you have, every challenge you face becomes your laboratory. If a conversation goes poorly, you can reflect on your part in it. Could I have listened more carefully? Could my words have been kinder? This isn't about blaming yourself, but about gathering data for future growth. If a project succeeds, you can analyze what went well. What parts of my process were most effective? How can I apply those skills elsewhere? This mindset fosters a love of learning and a deep sense of curiosity. It replaces the fear of failure with an appetite for improvement. You are no longer trying to prove that you are already perfect. Instead, you embrace the journey of becoming better. This leads to consistent, sustainable growth over a lifetime. You become more skilled, more resilient, and wiser, not because you are chasing perfection, but because you are committed to the beautiful, ongoing process of learning from everything life has to offer. Lesson 10. Uphold mindful action over desired end. Ultimately, this entire philosophy comes down to a simple, profound choice: to place your highest value on the quality of your actions, not on the rewards they might bring. This is the heart of mindful living. It is the recognition that the way you do something is as important, if not more important, than what you get from doing it. An action performed with kindness, integrity, and full attention is a worthy thing in itself, regardless of the outcome. This is true integrity. It means doing the right thing simply because it is the right thing, not because you will be praised or rewarded for it. It means putting care into your work, even when no one is watching. It means speaking your truth with compassion, even if it is not what people want to hear. When your focus is on mindful action, every moment becomes meaningful. Washing the dishes is no longer a chore to be rushed through. It is an opportunity to practice attention and care. A difficult meeting is not just an obstacle to overcome. It is a chance to practice patience and clear communication. Your life is built not on a few grand achievements, but on a million small actions. By infusing each of these actions with mindfulness and good intention, you create a life of substance and peace. The desired end is a destination that may or may not be reached. But the mindful action is the path itself, and you can walk this path with grace and purpose right now. This is the ultimate freedom, to find success not in a future outcome, but in the integrity and beauty of your own actions in the present moment. This is how the process becomes the ultimate reward,